while loop indicates that something will continue to happen as long as the conditional is still true. So let's make a Boolean variable here called incorrect, and we'll set false. Actually, we'll set, true to it. So by default, the person in my quiz app has not gotten this question right. So by default, it's incorrect. While incorrect. So as long as this is true, as long as that is true, I'm going to keep running this. So let's just create a new variable called answer. And we'll do an int input. And then our prompt will be, what is 2 plus 2? Question mark and a space, so they can put their prompt right there. Okay, so that's being turned into an int. And then maybe I'll say, like, if answer is equal to 4, and that is the correct answer, then I will turn incorrect to false. So it's no longer incorrect if that is the case. Otherwise, it will loop back around and continue to run this because this is still true. It is still incorrect. And then it will get me another answer from the user. So what is 2 plus 2? I'm going to say 4, and then it's done. Maybe at the end of this while loop, I can say, yay, just to clarify that I'm actually getting it right. Yay, okay. Oops. So let's run it again. If I say 3, then it's going to ask me again, what is 2 plus 2? Maybe I should put in, at the end of this, I should put in try again. Okay, let's try that. What is 2 plus 2? What is 2 plus 2? 3. Try again. 5. Try again. 1. Try again. 4. What? 4. Try again. Yay. That's kind of weird. So if the answer equals 4, print try again. I also want to break out of this loop in this case. I want to break out of it. So I would do a break statement there. So I'm going to break out of the loop and not do this thing again. Okay, so while loops get kind of tricky because everything runs all the way down to the end, and then it checks the condition again. Okay, and that's why that happened. So what is 2 plus 2? 4, yay. So it broke out before it hit try again. But in this case, if I did 5, so answer is 5. If answer is equal to 4, which it is not, it's going to do this stuff. So in this case, it skips that stuff, prints try again, and goes back up here. All right, so there are a number of ways I could reorganize things. Maybe I could put one above the top and some kind of stuff like that. But break might come in handy, while might come in handy. Also, if I change this to like correct and set this equal to false, that will work too, except while correct, so this will not ever run. Let's try that. Run. It just says yay. It's just a happy program. So what I really want to do is not correct. While not correct. So while this is not correct, what is 2 plus 2? Actually, I'm surprised that worked because this correct should become true. Let's try that. Yeah, so correct becomes true. And that's a little bit easier to read, I think. This not, by the way, is another logical operator like and or. But it's kind of weird. Some people like to do while correct is not equal to true, or you could say while correct is equal to false. But I don't know. I kind of like seeing while not correct. So while the answer is not correct, keep doing this. If you ever see a while not, you can consider that to be an until. So there's no such thing as an until loop, but it's just kind of what happens or how you can see it as if you see while not. So while not correct, keep doing all this stuff. Keep asking the user for an input and say trying again. So until they get it right, keep asking again. That makes a lot of sense to me. Until they get it right, keep asking again. So an until is the same as a while not. Okay, maybe there's another thing, another condition where this will never, ever, ever be true. I think we hit one of those a second ago. So while correct, in this case, it starts off false. That's what we did a second ago. So it just went into yay because it skipped all of this. So that is a loop that never runs. That's what I would call that, a loop that never runs. So it starts off with this condition false, and then it never enters this while loop. That's a loop that never runs. The converse of that is a infinite loop. So I could do while. Let's go back to while not correct. But let's comment this out. So where that never happens. Okay. I think this is why it worked a second ago because I had this break in here. So let's just pretend that none of this is there. Let's pretend that none of this is there. So even if I get 2 right, I'm going to say it's 2 plus 2 right. It's going to say try again. So this is an infinite loop. It's going to keep going, 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 going. Another fun infinite loop. Let's just comment all this out with a triple equals. Okay, another fun infinite loop is like while true. That might be helpful. That might be helpful if you want to run like a robot until it gets turned off, or run a service online until the server actually shuts down. So while true, this is definitely going to be an infinite loop. I'll just say, I'll say x is, let's say up here, I'll say x is 1, and then I'll do x plus equals 1. So I'll add 1 to it every time, and then I'll print x. Okay, so let's see what happens when I do this. Wow, it already got into several thousand. So that's kind of fun to run an infinite loop and see what kind of math stuff shows up and how fast it shows up. Infinite loops are kind of fun, but obviously, most of the time you don't want that. Sometimes while loops, infinite loops rather, show up on accident because your condition ends up not ever being corrected inside the while loop. Okay, and sometimes loops that never run show up accidentally because maybe you asked for the wrong thing. Like in my last program, maybe instead of saying, well, the age is less than 12, ask the user for input until they actually show up with a child or something like that. But instead, I did the wrong condition. So that happens a lot. When you do the wrong condition, you might end up with an infinite loop or a loop that never runs. So be careful of those.